Hi everyone, in the next video I'm going to use this bodice block to create this custom fitted bustier. So keep watching because I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Hi everyone, like I said before, we're going to take a bodice block that I constructed in my previous video and I'm going to create a bustier with it. First thing that I'm going to do for that is I'm going to trace out my block. I have it written down as bustier plan, but this is also could be a princess scene block. And I've made sure that this fits pretty well. So this is the muslin for this block. I like to keep it all together. First, what I'm going to do is do a couple of measurements. I've got those in my trusty little notebook here, if you can see them. So I'm measuring the location of this line and the top of this section here from the high point shoulder. So I've got 3 or 4 points that I've written in here. There's 4 points, and I'm going to apply those to my traced out piece of paper. I'm going to show you all that next. And then if you take a look at my sketch right now, we're going to apply those design lines just right on the traced out block. Once I'm done that, I'm going to trace out those pieces and add seam allowance to them. The seam allowance I'm choosing is 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter. Some people do more. I like 1 centimeter, so that's usually what I always use. Once those pieces are going to be cut out, I'm going to take my awl, which is a tool that I use to true the seams of my pattern pieces, and I'm going to sew a muslin up in the new pattern based on the sketch right here. Once we see all that, we're going to come back and I'm going to talk about the fit and how all that went. Okay, so after all that, I have my first muslin. These are all my pattern pieces here. This is the finished pattern. The muslin is obviously a little bit different than the pieces. What I found, the truing that I did worked pretty well. You can see right here, there's some issues with it lining up. That shouldn't look like that. Because this looks like that, this seam here was a little off. So that right in here is from my truing of my paper patterns. I need to update that. The hem looks pretty good, except you can see right in here when I was sewing this together, it was quite nice because it matched up. And then when I iron it, you can see it. So that doesn't matter. This seam right here, see it's trued on one side, but it's not here. So I want these two seams to line up before I sew them. So I have some updating to do. I've written down my instructions directly on my muslin in case I forgot. It needs to be 5 inches longer. Also, that underarm needs to be dropped 3 inches. So that has a little bit of an adjustment to be made there. Nothing needs to be made in the back, except obviously the hem needs to go down 5 inches. And the strap was crazy. The strap was way too long, probably like 5 inches too long. So gotta update the strap, gotta do all that. And I also need to decide on a closure, and I'm going to apply that to my next pattern. So that's going to be my update, and we're going to check that out right now. Okay, so that was good. The truing is even better this time. Let's see if I have a good example. Still a little off, but I'm getting there under the arm. The front is great. All these seams really line up nicely right here. I ended up doing a hook and eye closure. I'm not gonna do a hook and eye closure first of all. And second of all, I had originally just thought that I was going to do this as kind of like armor. It closes from the sides, you know. I was thinking like Roman armor, you know, like do that and close it down the sides. Well, it was way too tight and my shoulder was hurting trying to do it up under the armpit. I'm gonna change that to a front zipper. I have this really nice panel right in here. Unfortunately, I'm worried that it's gonna ruin the shaping in through here with the zipper. Because of that, I'm going to keep my pattern piece just the way it is. And all I'm gonna do is once I cut out these two pieces, I'm just going to cut them down into the center. So it's actually ended up gonna be 4 pieces. So my zipper is gonna sit in between. I'm gonna do 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that'll open up this spot perfectly for the zipper that I have. And you can see these are the updates. All I did was just draw the line directly on my pattern where I wanted it to be longer. In this case, I didn't want to have to move any of my notches or whatnot. So I did the addition of the 5 inches pretty close to the hemline. You can see there's distance from the hem that I added the 5 inches. That's my new strap. I don't have the old strap because I cut it up, but it's quite a bit shorter, as you can see. That's where I added that. I had to update this curve and I had to do a little updating with that notch. And I nipped in the waist here. This is the side front piece. So I nipped in the waist and I added 1 centimeter here at the bottom because my muslin was way too tight in the hip. So I changed that. This is the underarm piece, so quite a bit different with the 3 inches removed. The cup, well, if you want to call it a cup, that I didn't really have to update. Same with the center side piece as well. That got to stay the same, so lucky me. All I'm going to do is update this. I'm going to make sure it's trued really well with that and all my notches line up. And I'm just going to cut it out of my fabric. So I'm going to show you guys the fabric that I'm going to use. I'm excited about that. And I'm going to talk about my finished bustier, and I'm going to try that on for all of you. I'm super excited to see that. that took a few hours and it was condensed into a minute or so, maybe a couple of more minutes. And now this is the final result. I'm super excited. There's the zipper. Now, it made this really bulky in here. So what I did is I ended up putting boning on the top here and underneath, and I have boning here. So I have boning framing all of this area here. So this is nice and structured. The thing is I would definitely alter this for a breast, and it's going to be super easy by just putting in some seams right in here. It's easy to alter, everything lines up nicely. The boning it's working really well for me. I was super excited. This generally lines up here at the bottom, it's close. My bias tape worked pretty good, and you know what, it was super easy to put on. One of the things is hemming for me. It's not, because hemming is the last step, I usually try and rush it because I want to sew my garment together. I found the bias tape hem to be quite nice, and my lining turned out really good. It's super comfy, and this is all just fabric I had laying around. So I think I'm gonna turn my front pattern piece into a zip facing piece, so I'm gonna have to update this now. Other than that, I think it works perfect. I love the shape of the back in here, how that fit. You can see I had a little bit of issues with the lining and the facing. I made it work, and this is my personal garment, so if the boning starts to push through or rip through, well, that's just my thing. Straps are still a little big, but maybe I'll work out a little harder and beef up my shoulders, and they'll fit better next time. This is a really fun garment. I'm super excited about it. I actually love that I had this fabric laying around. I think it's a nice addition, and yeah, if I ever make this for anyone who has breasts, it's just a quick little update in here. Or this can be for anyone who doesn't have breasts and wants to, for some reason, wear a bustier out. I don't know what this would be for, but I am gonna keep this in my closet for a while. Okay, so now after all that talking and demoing, let's try this on and see how it fits. Okay. All right, I'm just pulling up my shorts. And I got my little microphone in here. So you can see, I have to pull it down. It's a little loose right in here, but I like everywhere. It's like a posture support. It's making my back straight. And I really like where it's sitting here because that's exactly where I want my waistline to be. And it fits really well in here. I like the front. It's just a little big in here. Like when I fit it right in here, I noticed it was a little bit big, and instead of revisiting my pattern for like another third or fourth time, I just decided I'm gonna put boning in the seam right here and give it some structure. And I wanted to do a wide strap, but the thing is it needed to be really fitted, and I probably should have had someone help me with that. Yeah, I'm super happy with this thing, and now that it's Halloween coming up, I might have some costume inspiration. Not sure what I could use this for a Halloween costume for, but I'm getting like Scarlet Witch vibes from it, like if she was a hippie, I don't know. Also, overall, I'm super happy with how my first bodice turned out. It's something I've always wanted to do. I love structured shapewear. Check out for the next video where we do the gown. So I got lots of fabric, so it should be kind of fun. Probably a denim or a, you know, polyester, whatever fabric I have laying around is gonna be my gown. So that should be fun. You'll wanna look for that. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.